Hey, you awesome folks! Thanks for taking this journey of discovery with your guide, Keith Haney. You're listening to the Becoming Bridge Builders podcast, your favorite podcast for everything from racial reconciliation to education innovation, justice reform, and leading change in the 21st century. This podcast is for people who love to be challenged with difficult topics, but want practical solutions to solve these challenging issues. Becoming Bridge Builders makes change possible. Each week on the podcast, Keith invites innovative thought leaders to share how they are building bridges in their area of expertise. You will hear breakthrough ideas and concepts that are changing the world. He's featuring guests who are best-selling authors, leaders at Microsoft, entrepreneurs, leading educators, professors, lawyers, and so many more. Listen in to learn how you can be the bridge to the change you are seeking.
My guest today, Dr. Joe McManus. A first-generation college student, Joe earned his BS in psychology from Florida Institute of Technology, an MA in multicultural education from Alliant International University, and a PhD in educational leadership from Florida A&M University. More recently, he completed the University of Southern California's Race and Equity Center's Equity Institute and was part of the inaugural cohort for the National Association of Diversity Officers in Higher Education, Standards of Professional Practice Institute. He also served on the NADOEHE President's Task Force on Charlottesville and co-chaired the Southern California chapter of the same organization. He is the author of a new book, A Brother's Insight, Guidance on Defeating Racism and Advancing Freedom. Welcome Joe to the podcast. Well, Joe, welcome to the podcast. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
It's good to have you on. I'm going to ask you my favorite question. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
That is a good question. I've had such great advice over the years, but I think back to something my dad told me when I was pretty young and had been hurt by a friend. And he told me that it's important to be a friend in the best way that you know how, regardless of what you get back.
Oh, I like that.
It shouldn't be transactional, you know what I mean? And he said, you never know what you're going to get back, but he said, you be the best friend you know how to be, and hopefully that is returned to you. And that served me well.
That's really good advice. I like that. I'm going to have to borrow that. So I'm curious, as you think about your journey, who are some people in your life who served as an inspiration or a mentor for you along the way?
Yeah, I've been really blessed, and it's interesting because I don't come from a sort of professional home. I'm very blue collar, which is one of the things that I love and appreciate about my background. And but we didn't have that kind of sort of mentors like we think of them in the professional world. But we had folks that looked out for us, and they were mentors, but we never called it that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so, first, of course, it's the family and the extended family and the community. But I think the first official mentor I ever had was this guy, Dr. Blake. He had worked for NASA, and he was working at a school that I went to, and he ran the planetarium, right? And I was always interested in space. I wanted to be an astronaut, and he sort of took me under his wing, brought me to Florida to see a space shuttle launch, and all that kind of stuff. So he was probably the first person that was a mentor to me. And what I think was most remarkable was that he talked to me not just about science, but he talked to me about people and how science can serve people. So I would think of him first, and then I've just been really, really blessed along the way. I think people have poured into me, maybe because they just thought I needed it. But certainly I've been blessed in that department.
I love that. I'm curious, tell us about your journey being the first generation college student and how that shaped your academic and your professional path.
Sure. Well, I was first gen before there were programs for that. Right now, colleges and universities have these programs, and they really help you and guide you. When I went to college, it was, good luck.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
So I think the challenge was the reason we have these programs now, right? It was probably somebody like me that said, you know what, this was rough. We need to develop something, right, to make this easier, because I had no idea, and so I made a lot of mistakes along the way, with respect to my academics and what I should be thinking about. Like, I didn't think about grad school until I was about to graduate undergrad, and somebody said you should do this, and I literally had no idea what they were talking about. I'm like, why would I do that? So it that was bumpy, you know. But I think it sort of triggered, the that part of me that sort of says, I'll show you, right? So you want to make this difficult? All right, here we go. Let's see what happens.
As I look at your degrees, it kind of reminds me of my own educational pathway, because none of my degrees actually fit on top of each other. My computer science degree doesn't match my master divinity degree, which doesn't match my educational degree. So none of those actually intersect. So I'm curious, what led you on the pursuit of the pathway that you were on?
Well, I started out in the sciences, actually. I was studying space sciences, which was the term used for basically astrophysics. And I was really into planetary science. And I was chosen to be the first American employee of the Soviet Academy of Science on an exchange program. And the week I got there, it became the Russian Academy of Science, because I got there the week of the coup with Yeltsin and all that stuff and tanks in the street.
Do you know that most entrepreneurs hit a revenue ceiling and have no idea why? They're working harder, spending more money, running more ads, but revenue stays flat. My friend Dr. Noah St. John calls this the invisible break. He's giving our listeners a free revenue ceiling audit to help you see what's really holding you back. You'll get a free 30-day membership to NoahBot, giving you access to Dr. Noah's 30 years of experience to help you reach your next level. But hurry, because there's only 50 available this month. So if you're tired of being stuck at the same revenue level and want to finally break through, get your free revenue ceiling audit at drnoahvault.com in the affiliate link that'll be listed in the show notes.
Thanks for listening to Becoming Bridge Builder. If you enjoyed this episode and want to help support the podcast, please subscribe and share it with others. Post about it on social media or leave a rating and review. To catch all the latest from me, you can follow me on Instagram at bkeithhaney and on Getter and Twitter at RevHeadpin. Thanks again, and tune in next time.